Hey guys, Tbull here. Today we got a game in the Chuck Hughes for you there. This is the Mordoff Halloween commander dressed up as a leprechaun, similar to Halsey, who I still kind of favor. There's the ship. Ring domination mode is the map and the game. And this game we're going to be kind of talking about how destroyers need to evaluate close range threats to them. Okay, so we're going to be covering A here. We got two destroyers per side, so hopefully one goes to A, one goes to D, and we'll take it from there. But what we're talking about basically is recognizing when the situation you're in is no longer tenable. Okay, and that's kind of where the zone of the mistakes lies in this game. There's a tension between what you want to be doing and what's possible to do at a given moment, right? So, like for instance, we're destroyers. What do we want to do? We want to kill enemy destroyers and capture bases. All right. Now, so this line of thinking comes up usually when we're trying to capture the bases. Can we actually do it in a given situation? If you think you can, then you want to attempt to do that. That's going to help you win the game. If you understand, maybe a moment ago it looked like you were going to be able to do something, but now it doesn't, then you got to decide, am I safe to remain in the area? Maybe we want to stay on the cap, keep it contested, or is my presence on the cap going to get me killed? All right, and being able to recognize the distinction between those two is going to help you out as a destroyer player quite a bit. Okay, getting killed unnecessarily is kind of the main downfall of destroyer players, and it takes a little bit of experience to recognize the situation you're in, but that's what you want to be developing. So Benson, we got some nice shots coming in with the team here, and Destroyer v Destroyer fights usually come down to who's got the better sport. So we got some torps heading his way, backing up. What I'm trying to do is put as much of this island on the left-hand side of the screen between me and him. That's going to limit the amount of angles that torpedoes could potentially come my way. And you can see here, based on where he probably launched, it's very unlikely that he's going to be able to hit us from here. And you can see the torpedoes coming in now, spotted by the plane. They're actually going towards our last known position. We do get a hit there as well, and it looks like that's a juicy shot on one of the destroyers, most likely. So pretty good starting play here. Contested. We're in the smoke. The smoke is basically the one big target for torpedoes, but as of right now, we see the first salvo there. And based on the fact that it's the Benson, we know we probably got some time before we're expecting more. But there's another salvo of torps. That means we got two destroyers in the area. Of course, we did see both of the destroyers earlier, but had we not, we would have been able to deduce the rough positions. So now we got Colorado pushing us. We got a clue as to what's going on here. We're capturing the base actively. That means there's no destroyers on the cap with us, but the Colorado is rushing in to prevent us from capturing the base, or if we do capture the base, he wants to immediately contest it, thus shutting off the points. So this is a very dangerous position to be in as a destroyer player. You don't want to fall into the trap where I'm in the smoke, no problem here, and look at this guy. Blind fire shot, well, not blind fire, but unable to see us on his screen, fires into the smoke, connects. And anytime you're a destroyer player and someone blind fires you like that, you need to understand it's a relatively difficult shot to do. Ergo, you know, once in a blue moon, someone might get lucky, yes, but usually you're dealing with someone who's very experienced at the game, who's very good at aiming and knows how to get things done. So you got to have respect for this, and that's why we're going to continue to move around. We're also kind of thinking mentally, okay, the torpedoes could be coming at any moment here, so we want to be angled towards these potential torpedo threats. In case they do materialize out of the thin air, then, you know, we're basically able to dodge them. But getting out of here now, the smoke is running low. Colorado taking some vicious shots, 6 torpedoes in all. We got the Normandy over there. We still got destroyers over here in unknown positions, but presumably kind of the assault. So there's still a lot of threats here. We're going to get back on the cap, though, because we're recognizing no immediate threat. Now, the biggest threat to us right now is if a destroyer comes close enough to spot us, and then the Normandy chimes in with the guns. But basically, I'm looking at this battleship to the south of me. He's closer to the destroyers than I am, so he's likely to spot them before they would spot me. And there's a Vok right there. The planes once again spot the torp, so the ships get early warning, and we open up with the guns. We know there's a Benson out there with extremely low health. We got the Normandy, who I'm also going to try and angle against. You'll see me turning on the diagram there, pointing the rear of him rear the ship away from him. And I'm also trying to, once again, get kind of behind this island here to give ourselves the opportunity to disengage. But we are scoring some shots, difficult shots. These, it's hard to hit ships with very long range with the American destroyers. You can see how high and ponderous these shells are, but we're still taking the shots. We're getting some significant damage here. Of course, damage against destroyers, high value in terms of the strategy of the game, also very valuable in terms of scoring. So anytime you can get damage on these things, you want to be shooting at them. We are being spotted here, though. Continue to keep an eye on the map here, and these battleships to the west are very close. So, I mean, they should be shooting at us. If we do start to take some damage, then we stop shooting because our playmaking currency, as we refer to our HP, being reduced. That means our options are limited. We got the Vok, though. He's interested in fighting, but luckily for us, we got some torps down there, and boom, takes him off the board there. One destroyer down, the other one mortally wounded, and we're still trying to get A here. We're coming up on our smoke here, thinking, okay, maybe if we need to disengage, we can always pop that. Keeping an eye, okay, the Normandy did shoot as well, and now he's beginning to disengage behind the island. So due to the fact that he just shot, and he may no longer have a shot by the time he reloads, we could consider not popping the radar. But there's other ships coming here. You can see on the map to the southwest. I wasn't exactly sure where that ship was, but we got another battleship pushing in, and he's actually on the cap now. You can see the capture icon kind of frozen down there. So once again, very dangerous. We got battleships pushing in close range to us, and that's a problem. And you especially want to be aware if you're playing tier 6 and up, or tier 5 even. Any tier 6 and up battleship has the option to have the proximity mod, which will allow them to spot you 3 kilometers away automatically through islands, through smoke, doesn't matter. Okay, now that's going to change in a couple months. They just announced some balancing changes, that is, and they're going to get every battleship, it sounds like, the option to have the concealment mod. And this is, once again, tier 6 and higher battleships, so that'll change the build, but keep that in mind. Anyway, Queen Elizabeth pushing in here now. We are up on the torpedo reload, and now we're recognizing, okay, this is very untenable. We're going to see how close he gets to us. If he pulls off to the left of this island here, maybe he's trying to disengage, then we can maybe still want to stay on this cap. If he pushes in towards us, then we can no longer stay here. Once he gets close enough to spot us, we pretty much are dead. Especially now that we've launched torpedoes and he knows that we're on the reload, he should have really no fear. Okay, so he's turning back hard in here, having dodged the torps. Now he's thinking to himself, I got to kill this destroyer. Now I'm thinking to myself, I got to get the heck out of here, because I cannot win that fight. All right, that's a big misconception destroyer players, newer destroyer players tend to have. They think they can burn down battleships with tens of thousands of HP before they would get sunk in retaliation. Never going to happen. So Queen Elizabeth flushes us out of the pocket. We're out of there. Unfortunately, we're moving right into a Colorado. This is not a play I would ever take by choice. We call it a suicide rush in the business, where you get really close to ships. A lot of less skilled destroyer players, this is the only way they want to torp, is point blank. Which is what the Colorado should be expecting. Okay, he hasn't been paying attention to me, most likely. This is the first time we're coming into his consciousness, at least in recent memory. So he should be expecting torpedoes. We, of course, don't have them quite yet. But I'm just like, okay, let's try and get a fire. Let's see what we can do. At this point, I'm expecting to be dead. For some reason, he's not really shooting at us, which is a problem for him. He should have definitely taken at least one shot there. By the grace of God, we're saved there. And we got out of it, but that was basically the Queen Elizabeth forcing our hand. Now, I elected to go in the middle. I could have gone through the north side into the half of the map that we control, but for whatever reason, we elected to go in the middle. Maybe I didn't notice the Colorado, or I wanted to stay in position and try and get a close range torp strike on him. I don't remember my thinking as this game was played a few days ago, but nevertheless, we got away with one there. Taking some shots at the Hawkins doesn't really matter to us. Number one, the Queen can't hit us. Hawkins is about to willingly leave our max firing range, so he's going to take away our spotting on his own. Okay, so we're on the cap here. We're trying to flip that, and took a couple pot shots trying to get rid of him, but we missed, of course, and then he sails away, so now we're once again no longer spotted by the enemy team. So we're working on capturing our first base here. This is their home base. Flipping that, of course, is great because we're removing their income in the background and we're adding to our own. But now they're down to one ship, of course, left, so at this point in time. The game's kind of wrapped up, but that's kind of the thinking you got to be really focusing on as a destroyer player. Am I safe doing this, right? And you want to be keeping an eye on the map. Am I closer to my support ships on my team, or is the red destroyer, who we think is probably right in front of us, are they closer to theirs? If they're closer to their support ships, then you're probably going to lose the fight, because hopefully those players will be smart enough to shoot the destroyers when they're spotted. And since you have multiple ships shooting at you, you're going to lose, right? You got the guys behind you, they're parked on the moon watching the map or watching the game through the binoculars. They're not going to shoot a destroyer. I got news for you, okay? They only shoot at battleships that are on the other side of the map. So you can't count on those type of players. You want to, if your players are close to you, then you can count on them generally, especially if they're moving forward. So anyway, now we're kind of voluntarily not spotting this. I want to capture this base here, but note on this, it's not a critical play since we're going to win this game anyways, but that battleship, he's chasing the carry, he's chasing damage. Note he could just have moved right through this base, captured it with me, added another 200-300 XP to his score, whatever it is, and he would still be in position if this carrier is spotted by the end. He'll still be in the same position to shoot him either way. So it's kind of foolish in my mind, but look for opportunities, especially late game, if you're trying to boost your scores, boost your credit earning, boost your ship upgrade progress, whatever you're working on. Easy to score here. That's more points, and this is going to be a 3,000 point game in part because of that full capture that we got. It would have been less XP for us had he actually been in there, but it would have been a better play from the team's perspective, and he still would have been in position to shoot this ranger and kill him anyway. So always do that late game or whenever. If you got an opportunity to capture the base, that's the main point of the game. Go ahead and do so. Anyway, that's a look at the Chuck Hughes for you guys. Hopefully you did enjoy it. If you did, please hit the thumbs up. New to the channel, consider subscribing. Lots of World of Warships coming for you all the time. Questions, comments, leave them below. Love to hear from you guys, and we'll see y'all later. Peace.